Elements of performance art. Bahagi po ito ng Elements of Performance Art, Part 8. Actually, ito pong last part na ito na po ang huling bahagi ng Elements of Art sa ating Elements of Art series. Pagkatapos ito is, dun pupunta tayo sa next video series na History of Western Art or sa chapter or video series ng art history. So without further ado, discuss na natin ang mga natitirang elements of performance art or elements of art. Of course, dance isa ito sa performance art. Dance consists of a succession or arrangement of steps and rhythmic movement to musical and or rhythmic accompaniment. So obviously, ang dance is more likely arrangement to ng mga movement natin physically na kung saan is meron tong association or accompaniment with music or mga rhythmic sounds. Whether this sounds or music is coming from a instrumental medium or vocal medium. In primitive countries, dance was a form of social expression and religious ritual, like for mating and courtship. Actually, hindi lang about mating and courtship to eh. I think yung popular na um, biag nila ang natin is actually is gumagawa tayo ng social expression dito or actually inaakto before dun sa pagkukwento ng mga epiko noong panahon. Okay, so ang dance hindi lang siya about performing, it's also about telling a story. Yun nga, I think hindi na gaanong popular itong parang ritual na ito, religious ritual na ito, pero I think sa Africa meron pa rin yung courtship ritual, meron sila. I think merong ding more likely religious ritual din sa atin yung sasayaw para magkaroon ng anak ang mag-asawa. I forgot kung anong name ng Virgin Mary yun or anong name ng sub-branch ng Virgin Mary yun, pero meron din tayong ganon. So basically, ang dance is not about performance but also about expression, okay, or communication. So ano ba yung elements ng dance? Okay? So, number one dito is the content or theme. Ito ay same ng sa literature. Kung sa literature na alala nyo ay merong theme, ito mismo yung meaning or gustong ipahatid ng author, dito din, meron din ganito sa dance. Okay, dance usually attempt to tell a story, convey or evoke an emotion, or express an attitude. We can see a resemblance between dance and drama, and even literature in general. But instead of using dialogue, dance uses bodily movement and gestures to achieve its intention. Thus, it uses a language which we must become familiar with. The theme or idea of dance provides a unifying element to the movement of the dancers. So, not all dance have a story. Some can be an exhibition of the virtuosity of the dance for the audience to admire. So, yun nga yung sinasabi ko, hindi lahat ng dance is about telling a story. Ibang dance is about just performing or pinapakita lang nila yung skill nila. Okay. So, another element would be the movement or another element would be the movement. Movement is the fundamental element of the dance. It is the means by which the dancers can externalize an inner state or condition and thus communicate with an audience. Okay, movement is the result from the need to express an emotional or physical state or concern. Dance movement must convey a kind of quality, otherwise it will be devoid of any human association. So, hindi lang tayo, halimbawa pagdating sa dance, hindi lang tayo gagalaw na kung ano-ano, dapat meron siyang certain kind of quality. I'm not a dancer, so mahirap to explain sa akin. Pero obviously, alam natin ang difference ng isang taong gumagalaw lang sa isang taong sumasayaw. Di ba? Very, very different yung kanilang quality. Di ba? Halimbawa, isang taong naglalakad lang, kumpara sa isang taong nagmimimic ng walking sa dancing. So, napapansin natin yung quality dito. Okay? So another one is movement must be dynamic. Dynamic refers to the contrast of speed and energy forces. For the movement of human bodies need to be caused or motivated by certain forces. The more faster the dance is, the more intense it is, the more slow the dance is, the more tawag nating melancholic. Okay. So papansin natin madalas ang dynamic ng movement is kapag mas slower ang dance is mas magbibigay siya ng emotion. Minsan, meron ding movement na fast pero is more likely focused on intensity and joy. Okay, I will post a video. When I actually post, I will link a video in the video description below para panoodin nyo kung yung difference between the dynamics of fast and slow. Okay? Music, of course, another element of dance. Music is closely related to the particular dance for which it was created. Kasi madalas or before, ang music sa dance is gumagawa ng music para sa isang certain dance. Pero nowadays, okay, since ang dance natin ngayon is more likely performing or exhibition of human movement or our dance skills, so kumukuha na lang tayo ng music na pasok sa ating halimbawa emotion or expression. Halimbawa kukuha ka na lang ng kanta ni halimbawa ni Lady Gaga. Okay? Tapos gagawa mo ng steps. Okay? Pero before is gumagawa na mismo ng music para ma-express mismo yung gustong ipahiwatig doon sa dance. Halimbawa dito yung Swan Lake. Okay? Ang music accompaniment dito is actually kinomposed para ma-express mismo yung dance. Okay, so for short, kapag mag-Swan Lake music ka, dapat itong certain movement ang gagawin mo. Although maaari tayo magpasok ng sarili nating interpretation doon sa dances or pwede tayo magdagdag bawas doon sa dance movement, pero yung meaning niya is same pa rin. Okay? Kasi yung music na yon is create purposely doon sa dance na yon. Okay? Para mag-convey ng certain kind of theme or content. It should not be regarded as merely an aid to the rhythmic movement to the dancers. So, I cannot say na di natin nagagawa. I cannot say na nagagawa natin tong rule na to. Pero kasi mas lalo ngayon, hindi na tayo into creating a content when it comes to music and dancing. Halimbawa, same lang sila ng creation. Pero kasi madalas, ang dance natin is ginagawa natin siya as aid actually to actually express the dancers exhibition skills. Mapapansin yun kapag nanonood kayo ng mga talent shows. Okay? So, nakikita natin, natutuwa tayo doon sa dancing, pero not actually on the music accompaniment. Although, yes, may music accompaniment, pero secondary um, appreciated na lang siya kumpara doon sa dancing skill pag nanonood tayo ng talent show. 'Di ba sa dancing skill, ang dancing skills ay pinupuri yung dancers at the same time ang choreographer, pero hindi napupuri yung music because the music ay hindi kinreate mismo para doon sa dance na yon or choreography. Instead, kinuha lang ang music para ma-convey yung emotion na gusto ipahatid ng choreographer at ng mga dancers. Spectacle dito is more likely, ang ibig sabihin kasi ng spectacle, yung nakikita natin. Anything na visual na nakikita natin doon sa dance. Okay? The dance and the play are much alike in their utilization of costume and scenery. So, pasok po sa spectacle ang costume, scenery, and lighting. Okay? This may be stylized and symbolic or realistic and representational, depending on the intention of the choreographer or the content of the dance itself. So, ang spectacle is dapat akma ito dun sa gustong meaning na ipahatid ng choreographer or the dancers. Halimbawa, dito yung picture sa right, yes, this is from the movie Black Swan, pero ang original kasi ng Black Swan or ang dance na kinuha ng Black Swan dito is yung sinasabi ko kaninang Queen, like, Swan Lake. Ano ba sinabi ko kanina? Queen Lake? Swan Lake. Yeah. Swan, like Swan? I forgot nito, na-rumble ko na. Okay? Music, stage decor, and costume, as well as movement, all combine to tell a story or evoke an experience or communicate in some way with the audience. So, onting off lang sa ating costume is distracting na agad siya or masakit siya sa mata. Kung naalala niyo yung principles of visual art natin, nag-work po ito sa spectacle. Ay, spectacle dito sa dance. Not just dance eh. Doon din sa cinema may off lang dun sa principle of design natin, visually, dun sa spectacle, sa performance art, masakit na agad sa mata. Dapat may concept tayo of unification, variety, yes, and balance. Kung naalala nyo ang ating principle of design. Dapat lahat po yun unified. Okay? So, onting mistake, masakit agad sa mata. Pag sobrang madetalye yung background, tas natatabunan yung mga dancers, nakaka-distract yung background masyado. Halimbawa, masyadong colorful yung background, is masyadong distracting. Okay, so take note of that. Maganda example dito yung picture nasa right ulit. Nakikita natin, ang focus dito is yung mga dancers kasi they are light colored. Meanwhile, may background. Yes, aware tayo sa background na may mga puno, pero since they are using a darker color tones, okay, is napapansin na agad natin yung focus ay nasa dancers because they are wearing white or light color tones clothes. Another element or another performance art is cinema. So we're going to talk about the elements of cinema. Pag sinabi nating cinema, cinema is the term that embraces many types of films or movies. Cartoons, newsreels, commercial, industrial films, educational films, social documentaries, and even home movies. The cinema is a way of expressing ideas, attitudes, feelings, dreams, and fantasies to an audience through a series of images. Actually, same lang yung yes, yung drama kumpara sa cinema, pero ang cinema kasi gumagamit na ito ng machinery or ng video camera to actually convey an emotion. So kung dati sa drama is um, immediate agad yung ating perception or yung mismong rawness ng art, sa cinema is meron na siyang mediator, which is ito nga yung screen na dumaan, ito yung images na dumadaan sa ating video screen. So, tinitake consideration sa cinema is yung mga angles na kung saan tinake yung isang halimbawa, isang scene. Okay, so these images or pictures photographed by a movie camera are projected on the surface of a screen. The art is the result of a complex activity which, while involving hundreds of movie personnel, intricate physical apparatus, and complex technical processes, is completely controlled by one man, the director. Cinema is like a painting because it is also a visual composition on a two-dimensional surface, the screen being the equivalent of the painter's canvas. It combines the essential elements of music, literature, and theater arts, such as plot, setting, character, sound, and spectacle. So, magkasama na yan. So, gaya nga ng sinabi ko, ang cinema is like a drama. Actually, ito yung pinaka-popular na art ngayon sa henerasyon natin. Yes, except sa TikTok. Anyways, ang cinema is actually the most popular way sa ating art. Dito sa mga diniscuss ko, ito yung pinaka-popular kasi halos lahat ng art or yes, form of arts is actually nasa cinema. Yun nga, yung 2D, okay, yung music, yung literature, kasi may literature tayo dito, yung plot nga, at yung, yes, the spectacle and so on. So, dito agad sa cinema, is halos lahat ng art is nadaanan. The 2D art, the auditory art, the performance art, and of course, yung sa literature. So, ano ba yung mga elements of cinema? So, una dito is time. Time is the most important element on cinema. So, actually, pagdating dito sa time is hindi lang natin pinag-uusapan yung kung ano nangyayari dun sa content. Kung halimbawa, ang content ng pelikula ay nangyari during World War II, hindi lang po ito ang pinag-uusapan na time dito sa element. Ang pinag-uusapan din dito is yung oras or duration mismo ng buong pelikula. Okay? Cinema is subject to contraction, expansion, breaks, or leap through the manipulation of the directors. Kaya minsan, kung manonood kayo ng pelikula, may mga part na sobrang haba, doon halimbawa sa childhood scene or memories ng bata, tapos biglang mapuputol, magiging binata yung main character, tapos babalik dun sa past, halimbawa pag-uusapan naman yung parents ng main character, tapos babalik naman sa future kung ano na nangyayari currently according dun sa pelikula, dun sa main character. So, ganun minamanipulate yung time. So, actually, ang time ang ginagamit ng mga directors para ma-convey niya yung feelings. Okay, so we're going back to the psychological part of the character. Okay? Na kung saan naka-influence yung past niya sa kanyang future behavior. So, meron tayong 3 aspect of time pagdating dito sa cinema. Physical, psychological, and dramatic. Physical time. Pag sinabi nating physical time, it is the time taken by an action as it is in being filmed and as it is being projected on the screen. So, physical time, we're talking about both the time kung gaano kahaba finilm ang isang pelikula at, of course, gaano kahaba yung duration ng pelikula. Halimbawa, sa Lord of the Rings, 10 years po inabot yung pag-film ng 3 movies at lahat ng movies ng Lord of the Rings trilogy is lahat po ay merong 3 hours or more na film duration. It is usually distorted through slow motion, accelerated motion, reverse motion, or stop motion. Ang ibig natin namang sabihin dito sa mga motion na ito is yung mga pag-project or yung duration mismo ng pelikula. Halimbawa, 1 hour and a half is minsan nagiging slow mo ang movement ng time dito, accelerated motion, reverse motion, and stop motion. So, as tune expressed within a shot, in a film is fixed and cannot be changed. But a shot can be altered between shots. Okay, pwede natin siyang ilagay sa past, present, future, in any order through the use of flashbacks and flash forwards. So, nag-work yan sa physical time. Magandang example dito is, tawag dito, kung hopefully familiar kayo dito, inaisip ko lang ngayon is yung tawag doon yung imitation game. Kung familiar kayo sa imitation game, then magandang example po ito. Although I don't know the physical time kung gaano kahaba finilm yung pelikula, okay, pero I think yung total duration of the film itself is I think 1 hour and a half or 2 hours ata. I'm still not quite sure. I'm sorry for that. Pero, makikita natin yung physical time dito sa pelikula na ito is merong siyang flashbacks, okay, sa past, meron pinapakitang present, tapos umabot na sa future. Okay? So, magandang example po yun. Psychological time naman, ito yung time, it is our emotional impression of the duration of the action that we experience as we watch the film. Ang magandang i-take note dito, yung psychological time, yung halimbawa, yes, the psychological time is depende ito sa certain kind of individual. Okay? At depende ito sa director. Okay? Director take notes that time seems to move fast when we are happy, boredom, and idleness or tragedy. Meanwhile, boredom and idleness or tragedy makes time slow. So, ito yung kinoconsider ng director. So, ang psychological time, hindi siya related doon sa physical time or the duration of the film itself. Okay, siguro more likely ito ay doon sa manipulation ng director, maaring related to sa content or doon sa manipulation nga doon sa mga motion. Okay? So, ang psychological time, halimbawa, kung napanood nyo yung Titanic, I'm hoping na napanood nyo yun. Okay. Yung psychological time doon, na napansin ko is yung bumangga na yung Titanic sa iceberg. 'Di ba? Parang more on nakaka-stress siya at mas mahaba. Ako pag nanonood ako ng Titanic, based on my experience lang, is that ayoko nang panoodin yung part na bumangga yung Titanic sa iceberg. Because stressful siya at napakahaba niya. Okay? Ayoko ng part 2 yun. Ang gusto ko lang ng part yung getting to know lang si Jack at si Rose. So, ito yung isang magandang example ng psychological time because the director himself, si James Cameron, ay maganda ang pagkakamanipulate niya dito. Take note, gustong-gusto ko po yung Titanic, pero if I'm watching, if gusto kong manood lang ng isang magandang love story, kasi sorry, hindi ako mahilig sa love story, pinapanood ko po Titanic, pero hindi ko na pinapanood yung pagbangga ng Titanic sa iceberg kasi stressful. Another one is the dramatic time. Dramatic time refers to the time taken up by the event which are depicted in the film. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina sa inyo, kung ang pelikula is nangyari sa World War II or yung mismong content ng pelikula ay nangyari sa World War II, ito po yung dramatic time. Okay? Kung ang pelikula ay nangyari in a post-apocalyptic times, then ito po ang dramatic time. Okay, kung ang time ng pelikula ay nangyari halimbawa sa future na flying cars according dun sa Back to the Future na hindi naman nangyari, is dramatic time po 'yun. Okay? So, maganda itong time actually sa manipulation ng director. Madalas po ang ginagawa kasi ng director dito is obviously ang dramatic time is madalas ang pelikula is more on the present ang dramatic times nila. Rare tayo makakita ng dramatic times sa past, okay, or in future pagdating sa Filipino films. Kasi mahal po ang production ng past at future, halimbawa spaceships sa Philippines because we don't have a means to do that. Expensive yung kanilang mga props pagdating doon sa mga dramatic time on the previous times or previous era. Okay? So, madalas ang ginagawa ngayon ng director sa Philippines is gumagamit sila ng psychological time at physical time. Pero obviously sa US is may mga pelikula na gumagamit ng dalawa lang, minsan naman may mga pelikula na gumagamit ng tatlo. Space, another element of cinema is that space refers to the physical space. Space is more likely refers to the shots taken by the video camera. Okay? So, basahin ko na lang to. We can move about in the physical space that surrounds us. But space on the screen is flat. Kasi nga, basically, ang cinema is a 2D. Gaya nga sabi kanina. Ang cinema is 2D, and our perception of depth is just an illusion. The camera lens captures the images we see on the screen. When we look at the desk, we see several of its sides and feel its volumes. Okay? Kasi dito sa space, sa cinema, is gumagamit siya ng tinatawag nating scale. Okay? Scale refers to the size of object on the screen and their relation to the surrounding area. The more mas malapit sa atin yung images sa harapan, diba, kung naalala niyo yung principle of design natin, kapag mas malapit ang isang object sa harapan natin, maaari ito yung emphasis natin. Right? So, ganun yung ginagawa na space sa cinema. Gumagamit din siya ng principle of design. Okay, minsan binu-blur out nila yung nasa likod o kaya iba ang kulay ng main character or gumagamit ng warm color ang main character. Okay, to actually emphasize na ito yung main character. So, ganun ginagawa nila. So, sa space is meron tayong long shot, medium shot, and close up. So, long shot is taken when the camera is positioned very far from the object, and therefore, there is a wide view on a small scale. Medium shot is taken from an average distance and is the view of medium extend to a medium scale. Close up results from the camera which is situated so close to the object that we can distinguish the smallest features of the object. So, ito po yung space. Actually, tinitake din to ng consideration ng director, minamanipulate niya ito, okay? Kasi, halimbawa, gusto niyang i-focus yung feeling ng character, madalas ang ginagawa nila is gumagamit sila ng close-up. Okay? More, pag nagkakaroon naman ng dialogue, ang main characters is gumagamit siya ng medium shot. Okay? Kapag naman gustong ipakita ng director ang scenery or isang scene na naglalakad, halimbawa ang main character is gumagamit siya ng long shot. So, minamanipulate ito ng director. Okay? So, obviously, pasok din pala yung sa space, yung mga angles kung saan pinapwesto yung camera. Okay? Sinabi ko na sa inyo to before sa ating video is that the more angular ang paggamit ng angles sa pagtitake ng video is the more nagbibigay ito ng intense feeling or minsan claustrophobic. Okay? Kasi minamanipulate ito ng director. Okay? I will find a film na maganda yung paggamit niya ng angles. Okay? I will try to find a film. Okay? At if I find something na film na maganda example dito is magpo-post na lang ako ng video sa link. Lighting is another means used to give the illusion of depth in the film. By the position of lights, the filmmaker can create areas of light and dark and increase or decrease depth. Familiar naman kayo dyan? Shooting angle, ito nabanggit ko kanina. Okay, angles are used to allow the director to show his or her concept of object or the character in the film. Shooting angles can express subjectively what things are like as they are seen from the point of view of a character. So, ayun nga, minsan kasi ang shooting angle is hindi lang siya nagbibigay ng emotion na gustong iparating ng director kung paano natin view ang isang scene. Minsan, ang shooting angle is dito naman pinapakita rin kung ano nararamdaman ng main character. Okay? Kung papansin nyo kung manonood kayo ng mga horror na film, yes, is meron silang certain angle eh. Hindi ako gaano familiar kung anong klaseng angle yun, pero papansin nyo, ay, siguro may jump scare dito. Di ba minsan nagkakaroon kayo ng ganun instinct, ay, wait lang, parang may susulpot dito or may lalabas. Kasi mayroon certain angle ang ginagamit yung mga directors para at least alam na parang may pinapakita siyang babala, may susulpot dito. Okay? So, I will try to find another film na parang nagbibigay ng ganyong feeling. Okay? Madalas, ang ganong angle is parang hallway, ang nasa hallway yung main character. Tapos yung angle din niya is naka-point na sa hallway, tapos medyo dark yung dulo. Tapos naglalakad siya doon. Tapos yung background niya is parang medyo nag-heightened. Okay? Or medyo high-pitched yung background. So, parang panaglalakad yung main character is parang nagbibigay ito ng tension sa'yo, ay, may susulpot. Okay? Ayun yung certain angle nila eh. Pero I don't know what it is. Third person ba yun? I don't know. Okay, video game reference. So, I hope you're naintindihan yun pinagsasabi ko. Another element of cinema is the cutting, or yung tinatawag na montage or editing. In the cinema, we experience space and object continuously. Different part of space appears before us. One scene succeeds another without interruption. Although they may be ocean apart, this is made possible by shot changes called cutting or montage. Montage. Sorry. Okay. So, cutting consists of joining one shot of a scene to a shot of another, both having a logical connection. Kung nanonood kayo ng pelikula at bihasa kayo manood ng pelikula, kapag napansin nyo hindi maganda yung pelikula, halimbawa, parang pakaramdam nyo may loophole, is hindi kasi maganda yung editing sa pelikulang ito. Okay, hindi naayos yung pagkaka-edit ng director. Okay, actually lahat ng blame is nasa director pagdating doon. Okay, pagdating sa script naman, script writing is, or sa mga dialogue ng characters, ang may kasalanan doon is yung script writer. Okay? So, director ang may kasalanan doon. Kapag may nakikita kayong loopholes or para sa inyo may kulang na part, di kayo nasatisfy sa kwento, kasalanan nyo ng director kasi hindi maganda yung pagkakadirect niya kung paano ika-cut ang kanyang film. Okay? Montage enables the director to show the scenes the story requires to further its action and provides variety. It helps him eliminate unwanted scenes. He sometimes takes several shots of a particular scene and select only those that are important to his or her story. So, kaya kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, sa mga pelikula, kapag nanonood kayo ng mga newsreel, um, camera reel pala, sorry, is minsan may mga deleted scenes. Kasi ang ginagawa kasi ng mga director is, they will, film many scenes, okay? Halimbawa, kung napanood yung deleted scene sa Perks of Being a Wallflower, meron kasi doon part na nagkaroon ng abortion. I'm sorry kung medyo sensitive ang topic na yon. Nagkaroon ng abortion yung sister ni Percy, ano ba yun? Nakalimutan ko yung name ng main character. Okay? Percy, Perks, ayun, yung sister na main character is nagkaroon ng abortion, dinilit yon sa pelikula, okay, kasi para doon sa director is medyo sensitive yung topic na yon at unnecessary yun para sa kanya dun sa story. Kasi ang problema kasi pagdating sa movie adaptation ng isang literature, kasi sa literature, infinite space merong ang writer. Okay? Infinite space. Okay? Nasa reader na lang yon if the reader wants to read a thick book or a thin book. Obviously, kitang-kita na agad kasi ng reader kung gaano katagal niya babasahin ang librong ito kasi base doon sa physical characteristic ng librong nakikita niya. Unlike naman sa film, okay, ang nakikita lang ng mga nanonood dito yung title. Okay? Since title lang ang napapanood ng mga viewers, okay, pag umupo sila sa theater or sa bahay nila, is kapag sobrang ikli ng pelikula, minsan bitin ang story, pag sobrang haba naman, boring. Kaya ang ginagawa ng director is that mag-film siya na napakaraming shots tapos itatry niyang i-fit ito doon sa pagkasundo ang duration or physical time na base sa kanyang stockholders or sa mga kanyang tawag doon, mga sponsors. Okay? Kung ang napagkasunduan ng sponsor is halimbawa 1 hour and a half lang ang pelikula kasi para sa mga sponsors, pasok ito sa budget at the same time, since pasok ito sa budget, maaari less boring itong physical time na ito sa mga nanonood, maaring marekomendo ng ibang tao kasi nagandahan sila, hindi boring ang pelikula. So, ang nangyayari sa mga pelikula, maraming kinakat despite na ang director, marami silang kinukuwang shots. Okay? So, dun pumapasok yon. Kaya minsan nga, mapapansin nyo, may mga pelikula na ang pangit ng may, parang pakaramdam nyo, may igaganda pa, pero ang kulang. Pero kapag pinanood nyo yung mga deleted scene, sabi nyo, dapat pinasok tong scene na to kasi para mag-make sense. Magkaroon ng logical connection yung mga scenes. Okay, or magkaroon ng deep meaning yung pelikula or content, pero cannot. Kasi maaari ang nangyari dito is yung mga stockholders ng directors. Maaari nag-cut sila ng budget, okay? Kaya naging ganito ang pelikula. Okay, nagkakaroon sila ng tawag doon, content editing. Okay, pagdating doon. Doon nangyayari yon. Okay. Camera movement, of course, another element of cinema, camera movement help us experience the gradual growth of ideas or emotion. If the whole help us experience the gradual growth of ideas or emotion. Halimbawa, panning is when the camera is kept in the same place but turned on its axis. Camera movement give rise to transference effects. The camera may be moved in such a way as to create a familiar experience. Halimbawa, yun kaya yung sinabi kong example kanina sa inyo, may mga certain scenes sa horror film na may certain camera angle or camera movement na kung saan pakiramdam nyo may biglang susulpot, right? Because of the camera movement yun. Nasa camera pa rin yun. Nasa camera shot yun. Okay. Minamanipulate yun ng director. The director talaga, napakahirap ng work nila. Okay. So justified na kapag pangit ang pelikula, halimbawa pumangat yung Game of Thrones, it's because of the director. Okay. So this, pwede natin sabihin halimbawa sa Game of Thrones is pumangit yung ending or yung last season ng Game of Thrones kasi nawalan ng content. Pwede. Or nag-budget cut na ang mga producers kasi patapos na din ang series, so why not use the budget of the Game of Thrones of creating another series. So maaari doon sila nag-budget cut kaya pumangit yung ending. Maraming cinema or TV series, movies ang ganon. Ang gaganda ng mga first season or first part of the films, biglang the last part ang pangit na. Okay, so maraming ganon. Framing, okay, another element of cinema. The picture in a film is a fixed rectangle which shows only a fragment of reality because of the cinema's limitation. Director has to choose, isolate, or limit the subject or shows only that which is significant. Framing brings about the balance and unity that one sees in a film, for it is used as the basis of the design. It can give a highly dramatic effects and can capture and hold the audience attention. Pagdating dito sa framing is ito yung focal point ng story. Okay, kasi sa isang story, hindi ibig sabihin main character ka, ikaw yung focal point. Kasi pwede nila bigyan ng focal point yung, halimbawa, supporting character, kasi yung focal point ng supporting character na to is maaaring makatulong doon sa development ng main character. Maganda example nga dito is yung sa Perks of Being a Wallflower, yung sinabi ko kanina, yung kapatid ng main character, yung nag-abortion siya, okay, is despite yung story na yon is nakafocus dun sa sister ng main character, yung yung story na yon, yung relationship nila after magkaroon ng abortion ng sister na to is naging strong. Kasi yung main character is nandoon, naging parang lagi nandiyan sa sister niya during her hard times. Kaya yung nag-snap na yung main character at maaari na mag-lead sa kanyang suicide, so I'm very sorry, very sensitive topic, is nandiyan yung sister niya. So, nagkaroon sila ng parang stronger relationship because of the help of the main character during the hard time of his sister. So, ang ginawa dito ng director, na siguro napansin ng director ng Perks of the Wallflower is hindi masyado necessary yung focal point ng story na to, kaya tinanggal niya ito sa framing. So, kinat niya ito kasi ang framing na ito or ang focal point na ito ay hindi necessary or maaring magulo pa yung main story. Or parang hindi magagets agad ng mga watchers kung para saan yung scene na yun. Okay, nag-abort yung sister niya and then, kasi wala nang follow up eh. Okay, kaya siguro kinat na nila yon. Okay, ito din yung difference between a literature and the cinema itself. Sa literature kasi, ito yung sabi ko kanina, sa literature is walang limit yung yung duration ng writing or ng expression of the content. At the same time, framing of the content. So, so since walang limit ito, okay, is mas free yung author magbigay ng maraming framing or maraming backstories. Unlike dun sa cinema is, sabi ko nga kanina sa inyo, pag sobrang ikli, bitin, pag sobrang haba, nakakabore. So, dito nagkakaproblema ang mga directors kung ano kaya ang magandang technique para ma-focus nila yung main story or the content doon sa main character or mismong doon sa theme ng kanilang movie. So, maraming scene na nakakat. At ginagamit din nila dito or ang tinatawag nila dito is the framing. Sound is another element of cinema. Sound is what gives the film a calming feeling or a suspenseful one. Okay, the artist is free to select only those sounds that he deemed useful and relevant to the unraveling of his or her thoughts and ideas. So, si director po ang pumipili ng musical or ng background music sa kanyang pelikula. Although meron siyang sound director, pero si director pa rin ang may final say kung akma ito sa kanyang pelikula. So, ayun nga, madalas ang sound dito is may mga uri ng sound tayo na kung saan may sound na kinuha nila sa artist. Okay, halimbawa, may mga pelikula, halimbawa nasa isang disco or bar yung main character, madalas yung mga sounds doon is galing mismo sa totoong banda na narinig natin in the real life. Halimbawa dun sa Twilight, New Moon ata yun, yung kanta ng Paramore, Decode is pinapatugtog sa background na kung saan bumibili si Bella ng kanyang prom dress. Ay, hindi. Part 1 lang pala yun. Hindi pala siya New Moon. Twilight lang pala yun. Bumibili siya ng prom dress, is pinapatugtog yung decode doon sa decode ng Paramore sa background. Okay. Or, may uri ng sounds na kung saan si director is kumukuha talaga siya ng orchestra and conductor. Yes, sound conductor. Na kung saan is nagko-compose yung conductor ng certain kind of musical sheet para mismo dun sa pelikulang yon. Example po dito yung mga pelikula ni tawag dito ni sino ba director yung director ng Batman, yung halimbawa sa pelikulang Interstellar, kung familiar kayo doon, okay, is si director nag-hire siya mismo ng orchestra na kung saan gagawa siya ng pelikula na pasok doon sa theme or content ng pelikula. Halimbawa sa Interstellar, di ba kaya sa Interstellar, kung familiar ka sa pelikulang yon, may certain kind of music sila na sa Interstellar nyo lang maririnig. Halimbawa, doon sa Game of Thrones, yung introduction na yon ay mismong pinili ng mga directors para lang sa Game of Thrones. So, walang ibang kanta or walang ibang pelikula na may ganitong kanta nakaparehas sa Game of Thrones because that sound is created solely for the movie or the TV series. Of course, okay? Of course, sa cinema, pasok din dito, hindi lang yung musical background, okay? Ang sound na pasok din dito is yung typical na sound lang. Halimbawa, walking, okay? Yung tunog ng soles natin sa floors, opening the door, yung tunog ng kutsara at tinidor, okay? I think dun sa pelikula is, although nare-record talaga ng mga director yung sound na ito, pero pinapatungan ulit ito ng mga directors ng more louder sounds. Okay? I will link a video here sa video link na kung saan ang process ng pagpapatong ng mga nagka-create ng sound na ito sa mga pelikula. Okay? Kasi mahina minsan yung record ng mga directors dito. Or minsan hindi nga nila nire-record, nakafocus lang sila sa dialogues ng mga characters. Okay? So, may mga uri tayo ng sounds dito, according sa cinema. One dito is the stage dialogue. Two is the music. Pasok dito sa music yung ambience. Pag sinabi nating ambience, ito yung mga tunog ng opening of the doors, pagtunog ng kutsara at tinidor. Okay? At of course, the soundtrack itself.